So welcome, and today we're going to be mastering wordiness, which is the enemy of clear writing. The ACT rewards concise and precise answers, and by the end of this lesson, you'll know how to spot redundancy, remove filler, and pick the shortest correct choice without losing meaning. Are you ready? So let's stream the fluff. So why does wordiness matter on the ACT? So wordy choices are always wrong, almost always wrong on the ACT English section. And the test essentially flavors clarity and economy. So if two choices mean the same thing, the shorter, grammatically correct option is usually the best. And so your job is to keep meaning intact while cutting the extra words. So you might not be asking yourself, what is wordiness? And wordiness is just, using more words than necessary to express an idea. It makes sentences clunky and can hide errors. And so, for example, you have these two sentences. One of them is, due to the fact that she was tired, she went to sleep. And then the other one is, because she was tired, she went to sleep. So they have the same meaning. The sentences have the same meaning, but you can see that the second one is a little bit more clear and concise, and it doesn't use extra words like the first one. So this is what we mean by wordiness. And the guiding principle, or like the ACT's rule in terms of wordiness, is essentially to pick the most concise answer that preserves the original meaning and sound. So if answers only differ in length or formality, then essentially you're supposed to choose the shortest one, unless it removes an important detail or it sounds awkward. The other point around wordiness is common redundancies. And the idea here is to watch for pairs of words where one word makes the other word needless. So for example, a phrase like basic fundamentals, you can just say fundamentals because fundamentals are already part of a basic foundation of something. Same thing with past history. You don't need to say past history. The history is already the past. So history on its own is already concise. True facts is another one. Facts are by definition, what is true. And so by saying true facts, it's just extra word. It's just a redundancy. Collaborate together. Again, by collaborating, it already means that you're working together. And so collaborate on its own is enough as a word. And so again, the idea here is that if both words mean the same thing, just drop one. The other part, or like the other concept that's tested, is empty phrases. These are words that are meaningless fillers. Some phrases just add bulk but no meaning, and so the guidance here is to just trim them. So for example, instead of saying in order to, you can just say to. He went to the hospital in order to get treatment. He went to the hospital to get treatment. That's already enough. You don't need to have the in order. At this point in time, you can just say now. Due to the fact that, you could just say because. The reason why, you could just say the reason, or you could just say because. And so the idea here is to replace long fillers with a single and stronger word. And so there are some strategies here. I guess the way to see a question and know whether you need to trim some words is you just need to read the full sentence and not just the underlined part, and then say the idea to yourself in a shorter way. And if you can do that, then pick the answer that matches your concise version and is grammatically correct. So in a case where maybe the shortest option changes the meaning, you're not supposed to pick that one because it would be a different meaning. So in this case, you should just choose the next shortest word or phrase that keeps the same meaning. And so let's look at some examples here to make it more concrete. Um, uh, the sentence here is that the reason why he left early was because he was feeling unwell. And the choices that are presented are the reason why he left early was because, he left early because, due to the reason that he was feeling, and he left early on account of. The first choice, the reason why he left early, it's already adding this extra word, right? The reason why he left early, the reason why doesn't really need to be there because there's already a because in the second part of the sentence. And so he left early because is the shortest, most concise version that keeps the same meaning. And so that's the answer. Let's look at another example. The sentence is, at this point in time, we are currently reviewing the data. So here, at this point in time and currently reviewing the data, those are already the same thing. By saying currently, it already means that it's now, it's happening at this point in time. And so the most concise version is to just say, we are reviewing the data. And so just look for current, present, or now, because anything that's added that's the same idea is often unnecessary. And so for some final tips here, I guess what I could say is that if you had a checklist, before you answer any of these questions, just ask yourself, can this be said in fewer words? Is anything repeated or duplicated? Does the shorter version keep the exact meaning? And is the shorter version grammatically correct and natural? And so for some final tips, again, this is what I just went over. Can this be said in fewer words? Is anything being repeated? Is the shorter version grammatically correct and clear? And that essentially wraps up this whole concept of wordiness. The next step is to just take advantage of practicing. A lot of what we're going through in these lessons become more solid and natural when you do more practice. So I would recommend taking some practice questions in the app around wordiness and try rewriting long sentences from your schoolwork into shorter ones for practice. And so that's, we'll stop there, but that's the lesson on wordiness.